Hi Dreamer, welcome to Vdara. You're finding me here in Las Vegas again, but this time we're just going to have a quick little sit down chat about Vdara. It's here in the Strip's City Center, and I'd never stayed here before, and I am here in a suite, the City Corner Suite to be exact. And I thought that it's really too big and grand not to have a little chit chat about it. So here we are. If you've ever been curious about this property, there's not much to be curious about. There's nothing to it, really. It is definitely designed to be a extended stay hotel. I am here in a suite, and you might even be able to hear it in the background, but I'm busy doing laundry. The suite has a washer and dryer. It has a full-size refrigerator and a kitchen you can cook in. It does still have a mini bar, so you know it's still Vegas. But other than that, this property doesn't have a whole lot to offer. There's one tiny yet actually pretty cute restaurant downstairs, and then there's a little quick service market along with a Starbucks, of course. That's it. So not a whole lot to cover food and beverage wise for this place. But the main reason why you would stay here is for kind of an extended stay. This would also be an amazing pet property. They have a huge dog park right next to it, kind of attached. And so this would be an amazing place to stay with your pet on the Strip. Now, this room is massive, over 1,000 square feet, and you feel it. It stretches pretty extensively. I mean, you have a completely separate living, bedroom, bathroom, and kitchen space. So it definitely feels like a suite whenever you're in it, not to mention the amazing expansive views whenever you're here. And I don't even have the best. I'm up on the 14th, 15th floor for this stay, so not particularly high up either, but views already pretty good. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, the number one question is always, what did I pay? I paid $305 a night for this room. That's fantastic. Fantastic for the square footage and the amenities of the room, like the washer and dryer. It does still have the $62 standard Las Vegas resort fee, and I think that's a little bit of a crime because this doesn't have a casino and it doesn't have a lot of the other luxuries that some of the other resorts on the Strip has. Now, it is an MGM property, so you are going to be able to charge to your room across all of the MGM resorts along the Strip. And now that they had that walkway between the Cosmo and the Bellagio, then this place is super accessible to the whole center Strip resorts. So pretty good location here. I think you probably couldn't do a whole lot better location wise. You do have access to a whole bunch of restaurants and quick eats and shopping whenever you're here, even if they're not here in your resort. Now, it does have a pool, a pretty small one, but considering this isn't a massive property, it's probably big enough. Sadly, I didn't get to visit it today because it was all rainy and closed. I got some good pictures of it, but it looks really nice. I hope to visit it in the future, but sadly, I can't really review the pool for you guys. Now, that really covers what Vdara has to offer, but I really wanted to cover this room in depth for you too, because if you're coming here, you probably are considering staying for a long term, because that would be the number one reason to choose this property. That, and if you like a little calmer of a space to go back to late in the evening, then this would also be a great option for you. Now, this room, there is a lot to cover in the kitchen and the living area out here. It is definitely showing some wear. There's some gross marks on the kitchen wall. The living room chair out here is stained. There's some peeling wallpaper here and there and scratches and dents. It's showing its wear and tear for sure. However, in general, it does feel pretty clean and upkept, especially the hallways and the elevators. I thought those were particularly nice. Now, you do have your own bell service here, which I think is nice, and the Uber station is very, very accessible, which I really appreciate. In the kitchen, besides the full-size fridge and the mini bar situation, you also have a dishwasher, and the washer and dryer seems to be running pretty well. I have it going right now, and it seemed to not destroy my clothes, so that's good. You just never know whenever you're traveling and you're using a new washer dryer system. Moving on to the bathroom. I kind of wish that the shower was a little bit bigger. You're going to find a bigger shower at almost any major resort here along the strip. I just stayed in Aria, and that shower is bigger than this, and the Cosmos is significantly bigger than this. So it's a pretty small shower considering how large the bathroom is. You do have dual sinks here and a large soaking tub by the window, and I definitely really like that large soaking tub. I think that that's a great feature. I do kind of wish that the window was a little bit lower so it was easier to see out if you were in the tub. The tub's really high and the window only goes to the top of the tub. So it would kind of be hard to get like too expansive of a view, especially if you are kind of short like I am. One of the other things I like to point out about the suite is that all of the areas can be doored off. I think that that's great, especially if you're staying with more than like 2 people. You might be able to have somebody like sleep on the couch, out in the living room, and you're all going to feel like you're not overly cramped in each other's space. The windows, I think, also kind of help because they make the space seem even larger just because there's so many of them. The bathroom was clean and well kept, and I like that they have both hand wash and lotion on the counter. That's nice. I wish they had the individual bottles, but more and more MGM properties are going towards those like big communal use bottles. Perhaps save the environment, but also perhaps because it's cheaper. Reasons that you shouldn't stay here. I think number one is if you want to gamble the night away, then it would be kind of inconvenient to walk next door to Aria. Now, to be fair, it's probably a 5-minute walk, if that. So not particularly like crazy. You could totally do that, especially if you're staying with your family and one person likes to gamble, but you need some place for like your kids to run around, then this would still be a pretty good option. Also, if you want a lobby that's always buzzing and like full of life, this is definitely not for you. Whenever I was checking in this evening, it was very calm and there wasn't a whole lot of people or energy around. Definitely different from the rest of the Las Vegas Strip, I would say. So that's kind of my general thoughts of the property and the room. I always like to conclude and sum up like, would I come back here and stay? And for the price, I absolutely would. I think that at $300 a night for this room, it's actually quite the steal. And I definitely would come back. The location's really good. I really love that I can get to the Cosmo and the Bellagio without going outside, especially in the summer whenever it's over 100 degrees here. A property like this where you can get to so many different options without having to walk outside in the heat and the sun, then I think is like a home run. And even Aria next door, sometimes you have to go outside. So to get access that walkway to the Bellagio and the Cosmo, even though it's right next to the Aria, you still have to go outside the Aria to do it. So if you really don't want to go outside at all during your stay in Vegas, then this is a pretty good option. Not to mention that the Cosmo and the Bellagio are some of the best properties on the Strip, in my opinion. I also would come back here if I kind of want more of a relaxed stay, or if I was coming back to Vegas for a very long time and I needed a place to potentially cook some food and do some laundry, then I would absolutely consider this. There's no particular red flags that I've found here that make it a absolute no-go. You're really getting the best of both worlds because you're here in the calm and the serene, you get to like relax, but then you can also easily get to any of the other energy and amazing resorts that are around. I hope you found this helpful, dreamer. If you did, please hit the like button and stay around for another hotel or travel video. I'll be back shortly with another one. Until then, bye!